All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids, adults, grandparents, all of you in between. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have your second guitar lesson. If you missed your first guitar lesson, it's going to be somewhere around here. I'm going to put it on here, where we talked about just all the different components of an electric guitar. I mean, what they do, what they're called, things like that. So today what we're going to talk about are the strings. So we're going to talk about, the names of your strings. And then we're going to talk about the chromatic scale. Now, this isn't going to be a big music theory lesson or anything like that. This is just to teach you the basics. So learning the chromatic scale is going to allow you to at least know the notes on the fretboard. So if you hear someone say, hey, play an E power chord. Yeah, you'll be able to learn that. Well, this is an E power chord because that's an E right here. So very simple. So to jump right into it, what we're going to start with are the strings. So obviously here we have a 6-string guitar. That's what we're focusing on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very, very easy. Now with guitar strings, you'll see them notated, or you'll hear people talk, first string, second string, third string, yada, yada, yada. So your first string is always going to be your high E string, which is going to be the skinny string. So if you're holding it like this, it's the skinny string here down at the bottom. That's actually going to be called your top string, though. That's your top E string. So that's your first string. Then obviously you have your second string, your third string, your fourth string, your fifth string, and then your sixth string. Pretty simple. It just goes kind of the opposite way of what you might think. Now, the names of these strings is a very important thing as well. You have your high string, your first string is an E string. Then you have your B string, your G string, your D string, your A string, and your E string. Now, a really simple and fun way to help memorize that, what I learned when I was first playing, it's every bunny gets drunk at Easter. E-B-G-D-A-E. Every bunny gets drunk at Easter. So it's very silly, but it's something that's easy to remember, and that's going to help you really start to, put two and two together essentially, and help you remember where all of your string placement is on here. Excuse me. So those are the names of your strings, and when your guitar is tuned up to E standard, which 99% of your guitars are going to be, that's where you have E, B, G, D, A, E. Now, of course, there's all sorts of different tunings out there, which again, that's another topic. But there's E flat tuning, you have drop D, you have standard D, you have drop C, you have open C, you have drop B, you have drop A. All sorts of crazy different tunings out there. E standard is going to be the one that we're always going to really be talking about here, unless we speak otherwise. So yeah, so you've got E, B, G, D, A, E. Every bunny gets drunk at Easter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Super, 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 super easy. So that's definitely something that's very important that you're going to need to learn and memorize. And as you continue playing, it's all going to become second nature to you. So that's everything there as far as the string names and what they are numbered. So to go from there, we're going to start talking about the chromatic scale, which in music theory, the chromatic scale is all of the notes that are available to you. In music, you're going to go from A to G. You're not going to have, an H, I, J, K, L, M, and a P, any of that. You have A through G. Now within that, you have sharps and flats. So if a note is sharp, that means it's up half a step. So let's just say with an A sharp is the note in between A and B. Now if you see a flat is going to be half a step down. So let's say, again, we're going to just go right here with your with the first fret here on your 5th string. So this is your A string, remember? So that first note here, that's actually an A sharp or a B flat. Those are both actually the exact same note, just with a different notation. And a lot of that just has to go into, key signatures and things like that, why it might be a flat instead of a sharp or vice versa. Again, key signatures, that's a whole other conversation. But just to say, so you have A, then you have A sharp and B flat, which is going to be right here, your first note. Then you have a B. Now, where it gets a little tricky, so there's 2 instances where you do not have a sharp or a flat. So that's from your B to C, and then from your E to your F. There is nothing in between those two. So just to go through really quickly, and then we'll break down more. So you have A sharp slash B flat, B, C, C sharp slash D flat, D, D sharp slash E flat. Then you have E, F, F sharp slash G flat. Then you have G, and then you have G sharp slash A flat. So after G, we go back to A. And that's going to be the same thing on here. So like the diagram I have up on the screen, and we're just going to just stick here with the A string just because it's easier to go from A to A. In music theory, you typically start off actually on C. All of your octaves are going to be based on a C. So you might hear, you know, C1, C2, C3, C4. You won't really have to worry about that with guitar. But so you have A is your open A string. Open means you're not fretting it. Okay, first fret would be A sharp or B flat. Second fret here is a B. Third fret is a C. Fourth fret is a C sharp or a D flat. Fifth fret is a D. Sixth fret is D sharp slash E flat. Seventh fret here is an E. Eighth fret is an F. Your ninth fret is an F sharp slash G flat. Then your 10th fret is a G. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. Your 10th fret is going to be your G. 11th fret is your G sharp slash A flat. And then your 12th fret, you're back to an A. So on your guitar strings, so your octaves are in 12 frets. So, you know, that's any note you're playing. Let's just say you're playing a D note right here on your 5th fret on the 5th string, on the A string. Okay, so that's a D. The next D note you're going to have on your A string is 12 frets up. So that's going to be all the way up here at your 17th fret. And so that's going to hold true on all of the strings. You have 12 notes. 12 notes in the chromatic scale. So there's, open E is your 6th string. 12th fret is going to be your next E on here. Okay? So that's going to be a really easy way for you to practice learning these notes. So what you're going to want to do is just go up and down each string. Start just by going up, and then as you get comfortable, then start going back down. So each string just go E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, A sharp, B, C. Just do that up and down every single string, and go all the way up here to your very last fret. And as you continue to do this over and over and over again, you're going to get more comfortable with it, and you'll start to be able to remember and be able to visualize and see, and you'll just kind of have a better idea on where you're at. And as you get deeper into guitar playing, then you start getting into playing lead and improvising and things like that. When you know the notes of your fretboard, it's going to make all of that much, much, much easier. So it's not as complex as you might think. There's obviously a lot of notes having 6 strings, and then, depending on your guitar, whether you have 20 frets, 21 frets, 22 frets, having 100 some odd, 120 notes, that's a lot of notes. But just do that, and you're going to learn very quickly, and you're going to be able to pick up on it. So that's going to be our quick lesson for today. Just to recap everything, we have our 6 strings. Remember, 1 is going to be your high string, which is your thinnest string, and then the 6 is going to be the low string here, which is also your thickest string. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, E, B, G, D, A, E. Every bunny gets drunk at Easter. All right. Those are your 6 strings. And then we have our chromatic scale, A through G sharp. So A sharp slash B flat, B, C, C sharp, D flat, D, D sharp, E flat, E, F, then F sharp, G flat, G, then G sharp, and A flat. And remember, the sharps and flat notes, they are the exact same note, just with a different name depending on the key you're in and what is being played. So hope y'all enjoyed this lesson. You are now one step closer to playing guitar. On our next lesson, we're going to start diving into actually playing, and we're going to teach you your first chords. So just to give you a quick idea of what you're going to do, we'll teach you your first 3 chords. Your A chord, your E chord, and your D chord. We're going to teach you your first 3 open chords on your next lesson. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss the notification. You'll be able to watch right as it gets posted. And, you know, we'll be on our way to rocking out on your next lesson. We'll see you then.